The movie starts by introducing Lu Jin, who owns a big company and a hotel. He loves food and drinks, and he often visits different hotels to try every dish they offer. For years, he has been searching for his favorite meal but hasn't found it yet. Whenever he likes a dish, he adds it to his own hotel's menu. One day, while eating at a hotel, his manager tells him that they could buy the whole hotel in the time he spends eating. This makes Lu Jin very angry, and he says that nothing is more important to him than eating and drinking. He doesn't care about meetings or buying hotels. After that, Lu Jin fires the manager for his comment. Later, while heading to his office, Lu Jin sees a girl in the parking lot. She's scratching a small car. This girl is named Shang, the second main character of the story. Shang's friend had told her to go to the second floor and scratch a black car to get revenge on someone who had hurt her friend. But Lu Jin tells her that she's on the wrong floor. She's actually on the third floor, and the car she's scratching belongs to him, not the person she's after. Feeling bad, Shang apologizes and says she'll fix the scratch. Instead of fixing it, though, she scratches more and draws a heart, hoping it will make Lu Jin feel better. But it only makes him angrier. Lu Jin walks away, leaving the situation behind. Shang lives with her friend and her dog in a rented house. She works as a chef at a big hotel, cooking meals for guests. However, no one really enjoys her food because she always makes simple, common dishes. Shang also had a crush on her hotel manager, and he made it seem like he liked her too. But when Shang talks to him about getting serious and possibly getting married, the manager turns her down. He tells her he doesn't like weak girls like her and prefers girls with better health. He says he can't marry her, breaking Shang's heart. After this, Lu Jin comes to the same hotel where Shang works as a chef. The hotel staff knew that Lu Jin was the owner of a big company and a hotel. They also knew that if he liked the food and atmosphere, he might add their hotel to his list. Because of this, all the workers followed him around carefully. Lu Jin inspected the entire hotel with his colleague. After the tour, the head chef presented the hotel's most famous dish, but Lu Jin didn't like it at all and sent it back. The chef kept bringing different dishes, but nothing pleased him. Frustrated, the manager asked Shang if she could make something that Lu Jin might like. The head chef laughed, saying Shang couldn't even make a salad, let alone a dish for someone important. But Shang didn't give up. She began smelling the ingredients and thinking deeply. After a lot of thought, she finally created a new dish. However, Shang didn't realize that the person she was cooking for was none other than Lu Jin, the same person whose car she had scratched earlier. As soon as Lu Jin takes a bite of the dish Shang prepared, he is amazed. The flavors completely blow him away because the dish is exactly what he loves. Being an excellent chef himself, Lu Jin can taste every detail and ingredient that Shang used. He enjoys the meal so much that he finishes it quickly, even licking his fingers. Seeing Lu Jin's reaction, the hotel staff, including the manager and head chef, start praising Shang for her cooking. They clap for her bravery and skill in making such a wonderful dish. Impressed, Lu Jin tells his colleagues to cancel all his meetings. He says, "I don't want to meet anyone. I just want to stay here and eat." Meanwhile, Shang is shown feeling very sad because her relationship with the manager ended that day. Heartbroken, she drinks a lot and even goes up to the roof of the hotel, continuing to drink heavily. She gets so drunk that she falls into the balcony area. Hearing the noise, Lu Jin rushes over and finds her there. He asks her, "What are you doing in my balcony at this hour?" "Wait, I'm calling the police right now." But since Shang is very drunk, she grabs onto Lu Jin's legs, holding on tightly in her drunk state. Shang mistakes Lu Jin for the manager and asks, "Why did you refuse to marry me? Am I so ugly that you don't find me attractive?" She says this and then falls asleep right there to teach her a lesson. Lu Jin drops a pin into a suitcase, puts Shang inside it, and leaves the suitcase in the elevator. When the hotel staff see Shang locked inside the suitcase, they panic. They think Lu Jin has done something wrong to her and immediately call the police. The police arrive, arrest Lu Jin, and put him in jail. Later, Lu Jin's friend and Shang's friend come to bail him out. Shang's friend apologizes to Lu Jin on Shang's behalf for everything that happened. As they are leaving, Shang notices something dirty on the ground and warns Lu Jin, telling him, "You're standing in a dirty spot. There's something gross on the ground." Right then, Lu Jin's friend arrives with a car. Without a second thought, Lu Jin tosses his shoes aside, immediately leaves, and both Shang and her friend laugh at the scene. The next day, at Shang's hotel, A picture is taken from a tree where a mischievous child had placed an umbrella filled with bees. The bees fly out, causing chaos. Everyone, including the children and Shang, runs away, but Lu Jin, who happens to be passing by, gets stung by all the bees. His face is swollen and covered in bee stings. Shang rushes over to apologize again. Frustrated, Lu Jin tells his friend, "Put a watch on me immediately. Every time she's around, something bad happens or I get into danger. If she comes near me again, there should be an alarm to warn me so I can stay away." Even at this point, neither Lu Jin nor Shang realizes who the other truly is. Shang doesn't know that the man who loves her cooking is Lu Jin. Lu Jin, staying at the hotel, often orders dishes without knowing that the chef behind them is Shang, whose food he adores. Shang kept preparing new dishes for Lu Jin and sending them to him, unaware of his true identity. Lu Jin enjoyed every dish she made. One day, the hotel manager approached Shang and said, "I don't like big, healthy girls anymore. Now I prefer smart girls like you. I've even started going to the gym, so why don't you come to my place tonight and then we'll get married?" Shang was furious when she heard this. She insulted him and chased him away, leaving the place herself. Later that night, while at home with her friend, she confided, "I've been so busy at the hotel lately. I've been making different dishes for the new hotel owner, hoping to impress him, so he'll make me the senior chef." The next day, some reporters came to interview Lu Jin. It was then that Shang realized the man she had been troubling all along was actually the owner of a very big company and the person planning to buy her hotel. Shang realizes that Lu Jin, the owner of the hotel, is also the one who loves her cooking. Wanting to get away from him, she decides to add extra chili spice to her dish, hoping he'll dislike it and lose interest in her food. However, her plan backfires. Even though the food is incredibly spicy and Lu Jin's eyes are watering, he loves the taste and keeps eating without stopping. Finally, Shang bakes a special cake for Lu Jin, putting in all the ingredients people usually love. As expected, he enjoys the cake so much that he becomes eager to meet the chef who's been preparing these wonderful dishes. Shang, however, is too scared to face him. She worries that if Lu Jin recognizes her, he'll fire her for all the trouble she caused. When Shang refuses to come out, Lu Jin decides to go to the kitchen himself to meet her. But instead of facing him, Shang panics and runs away, afraid of what might happen if he sees her. After a while, when Lu Jin was in the washroom, he noticed a spoon fall and someone pick it up from the floor. This made him suspicious, thinking there might be a thief around. He quickly locks the door and hides to see who it is. As the person tries to sneak out, Lu Jin catches them. It turns out to be Shang. Angry, he asks, "You've been following me this whole time, but how did I not notice? Where's your watch? Why didn't the alarm go off?" Shang nervously replies, "Well, the battery is low." Just then, someone comes and opens the door, giving Shang a chance to escape. Later, Lu Jin spots a chef's uniform in the washroom and realizes that Shang, the woman causing him so much trouble, is the same chef who's been cooking the delicious meals he loves. The next day, when Shang arrives at work, Lu Jin meets her in person. He asks her, "Was everything that's happened between us just a coincidence, or did you do it all on purpose?" Shang, feeling awkward, makes a face and says, "No, it was all just a coincidence. I didn't do anything on purpose." After their conversation, Lu Jin leaves but asks Shang to make a cake for him. She happily agrees. While he enjoys the cake, he receives a call from his dad, who tells him, "What are you doing in Shanghai? Finalize the deal quickly and move to another hotel. Don't stay there." Hearing this makes Lu Jin sad because he's just starting to enjoy the food Shang makes. The next day, when he calls her to ask for food, he finds out that Shang is on leave and won't be coming in. Feeling disappointed, Lu Jin decides to visit Shang at her house. When he rings the bell, she lets him in. He is surprised to see her home in disarray, with things scattered everywhere. He also spots her dog running around and clears space on the table by moving books around so he can eat comfortably. He brought Shang a lobster and some sea worms for her to cook, excited to share a meal with her. Shang puts her heart into preparing a delicious dish for Lu Jin and serves it to him. When she sits down to eat with him, Lu Jin says, "Oh, sorry, I usually eat alone. I'm not used to sharing a meal. You should go eat somewhere else." Shang feels a bit strange at his response, but decides to take her food back to the kitchen. She asks, "Don't you ever eat with your family or friends?" Lu Jin replies in a blunt way, "Just like you sleep alone and bathe alone, I prefer to eat alone too." After some time, when Shang returns, she finds Lu Jin has fallen asleep on the sofa. The next day, when he wakes up, he realizes he dozed off there. He looks for Shang and heads to her room, noticing that she is still asleep. Every day, Lu Jin visits Shang's house with food and drinks. They share meals together, and she often ends up falling asleep on the sofa afterward. Days pass, and Shang continues to prepare a new dish for Lu Jin each time. While they're at Shang's house, it starts pouring rain heavily. The roof is so weak that water begins to drip inside. To avoid getting wet, they move to a different spot in the house. The next day, when Shang notices that Lu Jin hasn't come to her house or the hotel, she decides to visit him with her friend. When they arrive, Lu Jin's companion lets them in but warns Shang not to meet Lu Jin. Ignoring the warning, she rushes in to find Lu Jin herself. When Shang enters, she sees a girl serving food to Lu Jin. Feeling a mix of surprise and jealousy, she asks him, "Who is this girl serving food to you while I'm here?" Lu Jin explains to Shang, "This girl is the chef at my house. She has been cooking for me for the past 7 years." He adds, "I came to you for food because you were on leave." Hearing this, Shang feels hurt and angry, so she storms out. The next day, while Shang is at work in the hotel, Lu Jin's chef visits her. The chef asks, "How long have you been doing this work?" Shang replies, "I've been a chef for 5 years." The chef smirks and says, So you're still a beginner compared to me." But then she continues, "Since Lu Jin likes your cooking, how about this? You work with me 5 days a week, and on the weekends, you can cook for him." The chef makes a list of dishes for Shang to prepare for Lu Jin and hands it to her. After leaving, Shang feels infuriated by the chef's words. Overwhelmed with emotion, she tears the list apart and begins to cry, feeling hurt and frustrated by the situation. Shang doesn't want anyone else cooking for Lu Jin, feeling possessive about her role. The next day in the hotel kitchen, the chef announces to everyone that Lu Jin's company has bought the hotel, and they want to hire a better chef, which means all the current chefs are being let go. When Lu Jin arrives, Shang, angry and upset, starts packing her things. She confronts him, asking, "Did you really throw everyone out of the hotel?" Lu Jin replies, "Yes, because I want to turn this hotel into a top-tier place. But I want you to be my chef so you can stay with me." Shang responds firmly, "But I have a condition. You can't eat food from 2 chefs at the same time. You have to choose between that chef and me. If you don't accept this, then none of us chefs can work in your big hotel. Do you have any emotions, feelings, or humanity in you?" Shang, upset, cries and says, "How can you throw everyone out?" Lu Jin responds, "That's the difference between us. I don't think like you. My job is to replace people who aren't good enough. I can't keep useless people around and hurt myself." Shang retorts, "I can't work for a selfish person like you who lacks humanity and feelings. Emotions make us human. Without them, you're just an animal." With that, she storms out. Now without a job, Shang feels sad and realizes she can't stop thinking about Lu Jin. Meanwhile, Lu Jin leaves Shanghai for the UK. When Shang hears this news, she cries in front of her friend, saying, "I'm sorry for how I treated Lu Jin. I liked him so much. I enjoyed cooking for him. I wish I could tell him that maybe I love him. I can't stop thinking about him." Shang is feeling overwhelmed, thinking about Lu Jin. Meanwhile, when Lu Jin reaches London, his chef brings him food, but instead of enjoying it, he sits quietly, feeling sad. The next day, Lu Jin meets his dad, who asks, "What happened in Shanghai? Why are you still there? I've told you to deal and come back right away." "Dad, how many days has it been since we've eaten together? Let's sit down and have a meal." While they eat, Lu Jin asks, "Have you ever loved someone?" His dad responds, "Yes, I loved your mother the most, and I love you now." Feeling inspired, Lu Jin calls his partner and says, "Before we go to New York, we'll return to Shanghai." Meanwhile, Shang is struggling with her dog. Just as she's about to sell the watch Lu Jin gave her, it starts ringing, surprising her. The ringing watch feels like a sign that Lu Jin is nearby. When Shang sees his car and notices him inside, sadness washes over her, prompting her to quickly leave. She hides in the vegetable market near his house. Lu Jin follows her and arrives at the market, where he spots Shang's dog. He tells the dog, "If you take me to Shang, I'll feed you something delicious." The dog leads Lu Jin to Shang, who has locked herself in a glass room. Lu Jin calls out, "Open the door. I want to talk to you." Shang replies firmly, "No, I don't want to talk to you because I hate you. Go back to your chef. I won't cook for you anymore." Lu Jin responds, "You're not just a chef to me. You're truly special." Lu Jin insists, "Actually, I really like you a lot, so hurry up and open the door." Hearing this, Shang feels shy and starts to laugh. She teases, "No, first you have to tell me if I'm the most beautiful girl in the world. Only then will I open the door." Lu Jin eagerly responds, "Yes, yes, you are the most beautiful girl in the world." Shang beams with happiness and quickly unlocks the door. Lu Jin then takes her to his house, leading her to a balcony, which is his favorite spot. They sit together, enjoying the sunset, both loving the view. In this moment, they express their feelings for each other, sharing their love and happiness. They decide that since they love each other, they will get married soon and live happily together. And with that, this wonderful story comes to a happy end.